Today is September 10th, 2018. Yesterday I just came back from a beautiful wedding down in the Springfield area. So I'm going to give a quick update on the garden. The last few weeks we've actually had pretty hot weather, but as of yesterday we had a break in the weather, at least temperature wise. The last few days we've had quite a bit of rain, so things are looking pretty pretty green, and there's a lot of weeds. Well, I haven't been working in the garden that much, but I got a ton of weeds that need to be pulled. But I want to show you what's happening. And here marigolds, and that looks like I've got a cantaloupe plant growing, so I don't know if I have enough time in the season to get cantaloupes or not, but you can see the round leaf. So I planted some cantaloupe over here, and then I transplanted one. You can see all the weeds, and the basil going to seed, and that sunflower on the ground. I don't know if you can tell. Whoa! Right here. I'll have to cut this. I'm going to get rid of this. I've left it here. You can see that it's now going to flowers. And the okra. Man, I've had tons of okra. In fact, yesterday I emptied my fridge of all the vegetables pretty much that I could, and I gave them to my brother. So now I've got room to pick some more stuff, and I should be better about giving things away, but I haven't been the best at that this year. But look how tall that is. Still producing like crazy. So, oh, I thought I'd planted some cucumbers, but that leaf also looks kind of roundish. I hope they're cucumbers, but they may be cantaloupe. And look at that, a squash bug. So I've got to spray this plant. My squash plant over there, I've been trying to keep up with the spraying of soap and water, and if I leave it off for a few days, the squash bugs come back in force. But here, looky here. Now this is a Jerusalem artichoke, which I've been trying to actually get out of my garden because they take over. They just spread out and take over. I'd suggest never planting a Jerusalem artichoke in your garden unless you have it in a pot, totally confined, because they're a nightmare. So look at that. You see these pole beans? Now I think this is just one pole bean plant that's just spread out over everything, and I love it. Look at that. Here, I'll show you the plant. So I need to pick these. These are just now really coming in. I picked a few. Look at that in there. So this is this one plant out of this. I'm pretty sure this plant right here, you see it coming out of, now this bucket has holes in the bottom, so the roots can go down deeper if they need to. But out of this bucket, all of this plant on that bush, on the fence, I think it's it. And look. So this has been growing all year, but it's just now starting to produce. So it's already been a pretty long in coming. And as you can see, basil, I have a lot of basil this year, which is fantastic. I put it in my tea. I should cook with it more, but if I can any tomatoes, I do put the basil in it. So, oh, I got one lettuce, it looks like. So, and look. Yesterday I emptied out my fridge, but today I can see I probably have 5 gallons of tomatoes to be picked as I walk around the garden. Some corn in here. I'm not sure why it's not taller, but I'm trying. And here I've got some more sunflowers out by the road. I'm going to clean the ones that have fallen over. I need to clean up and take to the back. I actually thought some of these sunflowers were going to be the big sunflowers, but well, they're not. They're all these little ones. There's a beautiful, very sunshiny. Now look at all these tomatoes in here. And that's my peach tree. I need to trim it. but that's like 2-3 years old now. So it came from a seed I planted by the pole. Look at that. Look at these tomatoes. Those are beautiful. That's a beautiful tomato. So I need to give some of these away, obviously. So it's just full of tomatoes. I haven't been picking. Like I said, I had my fridge full. So why pick? Why pick them if I wasn't giving them away like I should? Well, I did give some away, but I don't like going door to door too much, even though I did do that some. So let's look at these pole beans over here. Again, these are been producing for some weeks, but look at that. Isn't that nice? So I've got lots of pole beans to pick. In fact, I guess I'll come back out. So I've got beans and tomatoes and okra. That seems to be the main, and basil. And a little bit of corn, but it's nothing to brag about. The corn looks pretty pitiful, actually. But there's more tomatoes. I got a lot of tomatoes in here. Can you see that? And I got some beautiful flowers, actually, these marigolds. Now I transplanted these in here, and it looks like they've taken over the plot, which is okay. I was thinking about planting some onions in here, but I never did. In fact, the little onions, oh, look at that. That is beautiful. Look at that. That means I've got at least a gallon or two of pole beans to pick, which I like. These beans are beautiful. Look at that. Wow, look at that. That's a beautiful. So I need to get those picked. I need to mow some grass in the backyard like crazy. Wow, look how big that is. So some of these are starting to dry out up there. When they turn yellow, they're going to seed. So this is the pole beans. And you can see these little onions. I didn't, well, oh, sorry about that. Let's see. That's a weed. Grass. But these onions, you see these onions? Now, they totally died back during the summer. They never got too big, and I just left them. But look, they're starting to grow again. And I have a whole bunch of little onions that I need to come out and plant. And if I get busy and really work in the garden like I should, I would have all this area in here that doesn't have onions already planted with. So look. So in the spring, the onions do well. But when it gets real hot, the onions die out. And you can pick them then. But if you leave them, they will start up again. But now, if you let them get too big, they'll go to seed. Because I think onions usually take 2 years to go to seed, you know, to produce seed. But it's a bit of a process. So you can see these beautiful wall of pole beans here. I don't know if you can. So there's lots and lots of pole beans. And this squash plant, believe it or not, I've killed lots and lots of squash bugs around this. I just sprayed it, so I won't spray it again right now. But I only had a few squash bugs come up today, so that's a good. Maybe I'm getting you know, a little bit ahead. But look, you see all the weeds. I hate to show you that. Anyway, I need to come out and get those cleaned up. And you can see I didn't pick yesterday, and look how big this one is. So this one made this okra. If you cut it easily, then it's just fine to eat. But if it's hard to cut, then you know it's starting to become too woody to really eat well. At least I don't like it when they're woody. So you can see there's a lot of okra here to pick. I didn't pick yesterday, so it's been 2 days, maybe 3 days since I picked. But there'll be, I don't know, half gallon of okra in there, which is a lot of okra. You can't eat that much, or at least I can't eat that much. Oh, look at that. That's pretty. Those pole beans hanging there. Can you see that? That's kind of the end of it for today. Obviously, I've got a lot of picking to do and a lot of cleaning to do in the garden. And this cooler weather, like today, the top temperature is going to be about 80. And that's nice. We had been getting, you know, in the 90s, and that's pretty, you know, that's still a bit warm. But now that we had some rain and just nice weather, this would be a great time actually to plant some lettuce, you know, some fast-growing lettuce. As things get cooler, this is be a good time of the year. Also a good time of the year to, you know, plant any fall garden, maybe a little bit late because it's September, but September, October, middle of November, you still have enough time to plant some things. So, I mean, I could plant some things, and maybe I will, but the trouble is I'm not keeping up with eating it, so my motivation for planting more is kind of at the low ebb. But anyway, maybe some lettuce. Anyway, the main thing is to clean things up. Okay, love you guys. Bye-bye now.